If you want to add the other about the retro pay. Okay.
Thank you.
Colleen, just curious, your open meeting law conversation to include using Microsoft Teams or Google Meet? Or
Right,
is
yeah,
that a
sure.
separate issue?
No, that would be
Okay.
all encompassing of how we're gonna be
Okay.
going forward when it
Okay.
comes to meeting those open meeting law requirements.
Okay.
Was anybody else able to attend the open meeting law training today?
Oh, today.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
And I had a question about my role.
Rule or role?
Role, ROLE.
Library director role?
Yeah.
Okay.
Under that particular heading.
No, I think, if it would be possible to discuss it perhaps in executive session under personnel at the beginning-ish of this meeting, I think that would be great.
For the meeting?
Not before, like during the meeting, but like early on in the meeting so that I know how to proceed.
So Craig, where would you like an
Interesting.
executive session to be moved?
Well, I'm pretty flexible. Thoughts from the other
Maybe,
members?
maybe move it right after addition solutions or changes so that you're clear on
We could do that.
role
Okay.
before we go further.
Thank you.
That might make things clear for you in terms of what your role is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Are there any other additions or subtractions from the agenda as written? If not, we can roll right over into, you want this under executive session?
Yes, please, personnel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have to say this thing?
Yeah.
At the bottom?
Craig does.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Okay. I would entertain a motion to enter into your executive session to discuss library director's role. Okay, with premature disclosure or discussion may be detrimental to the board itself or individuals involved.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Those in favor?
Okay.
Hold on.
That's okay.
You have to turn that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause.
So we need to look at the minutes from March
Actually,
19th.
before that, we have to, talk about anything out of executive session. Is there any action outside of executive session?
Okay. Are there any actions outside of executive session that we?
Well, we talked about job description.
Right. But if we're gonna look at Bridget's, we should did we look at everyone's? I don't.
We should look at the
Absolutely,
job
yeah.
description.
And
That's part of
that's part of the policy review.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So
Where in policy is job description?
Shouldn't be.
In section 2, it's currently in, personnel policy.
So maybe that's another thing that needs to be talked about.
I just have to ask though, is the, so are the town jobs description in some policy that we can access, that anyone can access?
No, but I believe since it's public record, if you go into the town of Georgia and ask for the job description of any other employee, it's available.
So we wouldn't put them in anything that's publicly accessible, right?
Unless it's, a current job that's out for,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
different.
yeah.
Okay. So it wouldn't be part of our policy that's published.
No, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
It just, the reason why it came up is because it's currently in section 2 of the library policies online that are open to the public. So as we're going through, I know Debbie had asked for a copy so we can update it. However, it's up to the trustees as a whole to decide to eliminate that entirely.
So maybe it just needs to be separate from policy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We have to look
But
at
we
that
have-
bridge when we get to
Yeah.
policy.
Yep, sounds good.
you comfortable with that?
Sure, yep.
Okay. All right. All right.
$72,000, remember?
Now we're ready to move on to approving last month's minutes. Or
Did we talk about, well, I was gonna suggest we talk about using Microsoft Teams to record meetings so that we could start recording it on a platform that we can actually see the meeting afterwards, sooner rather than later.
We put that somewhere.
Well, we put it under open meeting law discussion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Are we
just
gonna
'cause
move
I
that
don't
in
think
new
it can
business?
happen today, the Google Meet thing.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
We would have to set that up separate.
okay,
Do we want to move new business up above improvement?
I think it's
fine.
Wait.
Wait.
Approve the minute.
Yes, any discussion with me? Before we move to-
I did not print out a copy of it. One minute. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I just make, do you have to make a motion to approve with changes first?
It can be either, everybody can take a moment to
Oh,
look
okay.
at them before, or you can make the motion and then everybody can look, what you want to do it. You know?
Okay, well, if you are making a motion to approve, that be approving the whole thing.
Right.
That's
Unless
right.
something that's-
Unless there's something to discuss.
I only have one thing to discuss, and I, hate to. But anyway, Craig appointed Kay Caspers, this is under 10B. And demand to the policy committee to continue to work with the Stone, but I think, is Bridget on the committee and not just working with the committee?
For trustee committees,
Hmm.
like, we're the committee, we're working with Bridget.
I thought we were a committee. See, again, this is part of the
Yeah.
role stuff, and,
From what
it's
I-
a committee of the trustees, I mean.
From what I understand from boards, and this might be Robert's Rules of Order, when it comes to like the select board has a committee, it's those two members on the committee who they bring in is because ultimately it's the trustees who are making the decisions. So we're the board who kind of fact gathering, or the committee that's fact gathering to give to the trustees.
But the select board just put together a committee for revitalization, and
Mhm.
Deb and I are on the committee.
Correct. So you
And
guys are the
I'm
trustees on the
committee.
committee,
And
and
you're
the
on the
select board
committee.
is on the committee.
Right, so the committee is not just the people from the select board,
It is
it's all of the
the
people
three
that were.
the three of us are also on the committee.
Yeah.
So,
From what I understood from the notes that I took at that meeting, it was you two are on the committee, the two select board members are on the
Bridget's on the
committee,
committee.
and Bridget is the consultant.
yeah, I
No.
think we should look that up.
Okay.
Let's research that a little bit.
I really,
I'll ask them.
I think, part of the rub here is hierarchy, like, it's just this, false hierarchy that is being imposed, which has never been the case before, and, it's odd to me that it is now.
See, I don't see it as a hierarchy, I see it as system of checks and balances, where president, Supreme Court, and Congress all have a job to do, and everyone's equally important.
I think I'm just gonna tell Paul and I can just clarify. Okay.
So should we suspend agreeing to the minute, passing the minutes then?
Yeah, I'll do about that. You can wait until I find out and do it next time.
We can vote on it, and
Oh, yeah, and then,
if there's a quorum, you can pass it.
I think that's what we did.
but you're gonna do the approved minutes, just leaving Bridget as a. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Essentially, that's why we vote on the minutes, is, we have discussion on whether or not,
Mhm.
how many people believe, do we want to change this? And if some people are very much against it or for it, either it's all in favor or, we need a quorum to pass it.
Right.
I understand that, but as was just pointed out, the select board also has committees that have non-select board members that are part of a committee. So I'm not understanding why they dropped about having.
Bridget
being
on
part
the
of a
committee.
Right.
The wording on the committee
Right.
instead of with the committee.
Right, because then it's sort of, if you have somebody on the committee, it's sure everyone is seen as an equal
Right.
part of the committee, as opposed to
Correct.
having a committee and then,
Pulling in other people.
pulling in other people.
Other perspectives on that? I mean, I don't have a problem with Bridget being a part of the committee, but obviously, according to your point of view, that elevates it to a peer position with the board members.
Yeah.
But.
So again, then I asked, why have a board? Well, I would say enlightened perspectives on that are that, the board's role is to advocate for the library.
And I would argue, work together with the director
Mhm.
to bring the library forward through whatever comes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And several libraries, speak of the board as representing the library out into the community. And no, it's good. What I'm hearing is, this interesting dynamic about, the community's desires need to be represented in the library. And, I think the subtext of that is that the library isn't considering those community viewpoints already. And I think that, it's just it's like a completely different way of looking at it.
I think,
It's a
yeah.
yin and yang.
Right, and I think this is where I'm catching on finally to what Deb's position is, or what Deb's saying is, you know, what the purpose of having the trustees are, you know, why we're different than just you. And I think that needs to be recognized and celebrated for the differences, but we can still all work together for the common goal.
and just in terms of responsibility, the board members on that committee still predominate and represent the community viewpoints that we're supposed to represent. So it's not undermining the position of the role that the board of trustees plays. It just has her being part of that discussion. I don't see that as lessening the role of the trustees.
No,
You know, so just in terms of, you know, not hierarchy or, you know, elevating the library director over the directors on the committee, it's having to be part of that discussion.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so
No, I think going forward, we can all agree that the library director is an integral part of,
Absolutely.
right, we're all on the same level, we have different jobs.
Right.
Right.
absolutely.
Before we get to vote on the minutes, there's just a misspelling of mileage under 9.
Okay.
Which bullet point?
Oh, yeah, they
The
didn't put the
first bullet.
E in.
First bullet point.
Millage?
First bullet point, excluding $500 excluding mileage.
Oh, well.
It's not a big deal.
Well,
The teacher.
It's perfect to have some. I thought these minutes were excellent, Colin. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes, and so I know when we get to it, I'll talk more about how we're gonna proceed with going forward with the minutes. I had sent them to you because I thought you were putting them on, like we had agreed that the library website would have the minutes now. So I was just gonna send everything directly to you, but you still want to have the link to the town, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay. So,
And can I ask a brand new trustee dummy thing? Where do I find the minutes of the last meeting?
so if you go to the Georgia
Calendar.
Public Library website,
Yeah.
there's under, I think, more, and then it'll have like 15 minutes. There's a link.
Okay, so that's where I would go to
That's
find
where
it.
you would go to find it.
Thank
Or you can go to the calendar,
Yep.
go to
Or you
last
can go to
meeting, and it'll
calendar.
show agenda,
and make sure you take care of your cookies.
and it'll show minutes.
See all that. Okay, thank you. That was just
So should we make a motion?
are we gonna, do we have a motion to accept the minutes of that? We still have that maybe wording, but.
right.
I think I'd like to, yes, I think you should, what's the word?
Postpone.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we should postpone. I don't know, I'd like to get like Paul or somebody on the select board to give me some sort of, you know,
Well, I will make a motion to approve the minutes, and then should we come to the meeting next time and you want to bring that up, we can
Okay.
have those retroactively.
oh, okay,
That's
all right,
okay.
thank you.
Okay, so we
Can
have
I
a movement.
second that?
We have a second. All those in favor?
Anyone opposed?
That's accepted. All right, the report. So, on the treasurer's report. Here, thank you very much for circulating the
You're welcome.
treasurer's report.
I probably forgot to tell you that there's like 4 or 5 tabs, we really only need to print out there.
Well, it was
Oh,
great
well,
to have it.
I
so-
just sent the whole thing, so, yeah, so I can put-
Yeah,
what was I gonna say? Are there any questions about it? I mean, we're on track.
did you want to bring up the issue or the separate issue about the retroactive?
I can do it now.
Okay,
I think it can be all part of the same thing.
okay.
So at the last meeting, sorry, prior to the last meeting, I had asked if retroactive pay would be implemented for the raises, and they
Right.
said yes. But then at the meeting, at the select board meeting, they decided to say no. In the meantime, we told everybody that yes.
Mhm.
So I did a bit of calculation to see exactly what that means in terms of dollars, because we're gonna be underspending in salaries if we don't give a bonus, is what I'm suggesting.
And, from the employee's perspective, what that means is that we're really not getting a raise
Well, yeah,
if it's not retro.
I mean, everybody in their mind runs from January to December when, that's what it is.
Right.
So for us to have to then move that out to March, when we do our new budget next year, don't worry, we will figure that out. But this first year seems unfair, and, it's $1,621,
Mhm.
to bring our, salaries budget to true it up to what it should be. And I am suggesting that we tell the town that we're giving people a bonus, and they put it in a pay tab. And I'd like your permission to do that.
Okay. Discussion.
Well, I know as a town employee who also is not getting her bonus,
Mm,
or retro pay, that, you know, I think that two things. I 100% approve of the bonus, because not only do they deserve it, but also because we voted upon it in our November meeting. It's already been budgeted, and essentially the select board gives us the money and we say how we're gonna
Mhm.
spend it.
Right.
We said we wanted to do that 100%, let's do that.
Yeah.
Just on the flip side, the whole town, all of the part-time people, the highway guys, all the, fire department guys, they're not getting it.
But I don't think they were told they were going to. This is the thing that bothers me.
Right, that we were
them.
told, right, no,
Right?
that's absolutely true. I don't know if
I don't think they were told they were.
But-
retro pay.
also everyone expected it because it had been done so many years in the past. So while
Precedent was set.
right, so while I'm supportive of this 100%, I just want to make it clear to everybody that other employees in town are not getting that benefit. So there might be a certain amount of talk.
Resentment.
Yes.
Well, I mean, then they can go to their department head and, ask
Right.
for the bonus, right?
I mean, really, this is such a unique situation because barring the trustees,
Mhm.
otherwise it never would have happened.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, it's always the first year of a new policy that everybody,
Loses.
suffers.
Yeah.
So next year, when we put together our budget and we say it's a 5% increase or whatever it is, we'll take into consideration the lower amount of pay that they're gonna get those first 3 months to, screw it
I
up at the
think-
end.
Well, yeah, you were in the meeting for the select board. They said, no, it really is a raise because it's gonna go from,
Mhm.
March to
March to March. So you'll
That's
still be
not-
getting that benefit the next year, just based
You just
on
lose
that.
out this
You
year.
just lose out this year,
Yeah,
correct?
and see,
And
I don't
next
think we should
year-
lose out. No, we won't
From
lose out.
December to March of
No,
26.
No, we won't.
If it's March to March.
We won't, because I'll know what you're gonna get paid. right? It'll be whatever the new payment, so, don't worry, I have a way of figuring that out.
Well,
We all get
it's
that
like-
raise.
If it was going to be December to, if it was gonna be January to December, right?
Mhm.
And it's now going to be
March
March
to
to March, then you're missing out on the January to March in 26, right? So you're.
But
like
we're
they-
gonna
Are the,
increase
so are the
that.
salaries just for the current calendar year then?
That's how we built the budget.
That's how we built the budget,
That's
right?
what-
So we're
Reason
on
that
a
they're
budget
budget.
accounting basis, so all budgets are done for a year. So for this to be done on something other than a year is wonky.
But this is for the first year, but there is a way to calculate it the second year to make sure you get that full
Right.
percentage of increase.
Right.
Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm very gratified that we're trying to adjust it here for the employees
Yeah.
here. I'm sorry if the rest of the town doesn't, really,
I mean,
because
it's
that
unfortunate.
is unfortunate.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's unfortunate that the select board retracted their original.
I don't
It
know
will
if
be
somebody spoke out of
retroactive.
turn or what, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's what happened. It's in an email.
So we have that money, you're saying, in this salary,
Correct.
64. You already had from
Oh, wait, wait.
January,
Say that again.
the
Library salary.
library salary,
Of 119, yes.
okay, the
Yeah.
119,464.
It's the full
You
amount.
already had the January through
March,
next March.
no, January, this March. In the year, town year to date. Is that what you're looking at?
Well, this number that is here,
Oh, yeah.
it includes the January that we had, or is that still on last year's?
No, it's still, it includes last year's. Sorry, this number was based on everybody getting their raise on January 1st. But they're not getting it, they didn't get it until April 1st. So we're lower, over at the other side, it says the remainder variance is 80%, we should really be at 75%.
Hmm.
But we're not, because the raises aren't there
Ah,
for 3 months.
But the money is there.
The money is built into the 119,464 for everybody getting whatever raise. is
right, because you
approved.
built the budget based on
Yeah.
raises
year.
happening.
Right,
happening in
so that
January.
was my only
Yeah.
question about that, to make sure that we don't bounce come the end of March. Next month.
Oh, well, this is
It'll
only
be a new
for,
month.
it'll be a whole new budget at that point.
Right, because the budgets go January to December.
Correct.
Okay, that's so,
So it'll be a whole new budget based on the lower pay for 3 months and then the raises from April through.
And I believe with the new personnel policy, we won't have control over, Bridget's raise in the future. I believe that when it comes to the personnel, and that's actually something that, I had gotten from the select board, that, while the Board of Trustees has authority over library procedures and everything, it does not empower the trustees to address personnel matters. So, select board specific authority to adopt personnel rules for all town employees that address such matter as job classification, tenure, retirement pension, leaves of absence, vacations, holidays, hours of work, group insurance, salary, layoff, reinstatement, promotion, demotion, dismissal, transfer, injury, settlements, and settlements of disputes and appeal. Since it's a town library, individuals who work at the library are town employees. So I believe in the
Put
future-
raises in there.
That's strange.
Right, it doesn't say
That's
what
what
it's
I'm-
described.
This is what I'm saying.
that
Kelly.
goes against all the things we were just talking about.
And this is what I'm saying, it's very much a confusion of
Hmm.
some of this, and trying to keep them separate, and who's responsible
For what? And
for what?
Yeah,
You
But
know, that's,
when I think when it comes to, like, we have nothing at all to do with British pension. Like,
No,
that's just between her and the, you know. her, right, retirement account, her health insurance, we don't have anything to do with that. So I think that with the new personnel policies, they're making the rule kind of across the board for everyone that HR is
So
not
with-
going to be
But
in
we're,
charge
yeah,
of
we're
all of
supposed
that.
to be responsible for the library personnel.
But we don't have HR.
So,
Well, I think Stacy is HR. now, but-
But that list that you just read, that
Mhm.
they're gonna be responsible for, doesn't say raises.
No,
Right.
it doesn't.
So does that
It
mean?
Well, I
doesn't
think that's
salary.
the promotion of it.
I'm gonna, yeah, I'll make sure.
can we get copies of that?
That's from the select board, I think.
Right, that was from the attorney.
Where that is.
So would that still even be a part of our budget then?
I'm gonna find out.
Because if we're not responsible for it, then we
So what's
wouldn't.
the administration of the library director's position, because that's a major part of
So,
the administration. Oh, well.
It
That
is
brings
in
up a lot of
state
questions.
statute that the library trustees are responsible for the finances of the library.
Oh, which goes against,
Which, yeah, which
Right.
isn't
if,
consistent.
if
with
we
that.
talk about book salary. yeah.
Well, gee.
Boy. And hours, right, for a lot
That's
to understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, that was something. for
I
the
will
policy
definitely
section.
clarify that with the trustee.
That's
Select board.
Because then all this, like I said, it just needs to be rewritten. As to
Very
what
much.
we're actually doing or not doing.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the bonus that we're going to give people.
I second that.
Well,
Great.
then-
All those in favor?
Wait,
Go ahead,
nope,
sorry.
nope, nope, stop here.
And how much is the,
1621?
1621 and change.
How about, boy, how about I hang on to that? Okay, so we've got a motion and a second,
okay, who did the motion?
Carrie
I
did,
did,
and
and then-
Nicole seconded. So all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right.
Yeah, that's really, putting, singing yes to somebody and then telling the red light.
Yeah,
That's
I
not,
know.
Because
I
it's
agree.
too hard to do that.
Oh, geez.
Anyway.
Was there any
okay.
more of the budget discussion?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay. Well, I know that we have the option to reevaluate the budget going forward.
Oh, yes.
Was there anything new in the last 3 months when it comes to grants or other income that we want to move into other areas?
Well, there's $609.92.
Yeah, what was that?
So, it was, where is it? $550 in donations, $16.92 in interest, and $43 to replace the book. So my feeling is that we put the $43 back into adult books. Or you can just put everything back into purchasing books. And Bridget, you could tell us how you'd, like a third or something. I don't, if you'd like, I can do that.
I appreciate that, and I think it would be just fine if it just went into book and we can adjust more as, time goes by.
Okay, so I will put that $609.92 into books.
And can I ask a question about
Mhm.
that? What about what we lost with the, online electronic?
I don't think that's gonna pay for anything, is it? $600?
No, that's less than 2 months of his list.
Yeah.
That's really expensive.
Which is very unfortunate because a lot of people use it.
With, was it gonna be divided amongst the 3 different areas
Or
or is
just-
it
Adult books.
Go to books.
just books?
Adult books,
Okay.
just adult books, not
Okay.
children's. Okay.
I'll do that.
I will make a note of that.
We'll see that next time.
Do we have to make a motion for that, since it's changing money?
We've got the motion.
I make a motion that $609 goes to adult books.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks.
Opposed? She's the best of that, but- So, was there more on the budget, okay. So, library director,
Thank you.
yes.
So personnel, we are hiring. I have a new person coming on board who will begin on 4/25 and 4/26 for training. I think it's really important that we bring on some new staff now so that our bases are covered when we staff later on this summer.
What's the position, I'm sorry, to interrupt. The position,
Library.
library assistant?
Well, so the current positions are library assistant, programming and materials processing, and library assistant, I don't know, I'd have to look it up. This is neither of those. I cannot find someone who will work the same hours that the current person is working, and so I am looking to hire 2 people at least, to do that. If we get the grants that I applied for, then I will propose that we hire some folks temporarily during the grant period so that we're able to do all the things that we said we were going to do in the grant. So, yeah, so this person is a library assistant.
Okay,
And I have an interview tomorrow for another person who I'm hoping, will be working Tuesday and Wednesday. So, but it's really important that we get the training started now because there's a lot to learn and I'm concerned. I think they're sharp, which is great, because only working a couple days a week, it's hard for all of this stuff to stick.
Yeah.
So then can I go back and ask, you, the question, will the budget that we just have be able to withstand it too? No?
We're losing Megan,
Yeah,
so.
but that replaces. I
I
mean,
don't-
is it gonna be split?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's 1 for 1.
We'll
To track it, I'll track it pretty closely, but we're gonna lose July through December. Of Megan. I don't believe that I don't know what the rate of pay is of these new people.
I believe that's executive session.
Okay. So, yes, I think it'll be, I guess we're not gonna know until we know the hours that they'll work.
And her name is Autumn? Is that right?
Autumn, yeah.
Oh, look forward to meeting her.
Yeah, she's great. I'm really looking
Good.
forward to having her on board. Yeah.
Well, congratulations and good luck with it.
Thanks. Yeah, I am really excited. Yeah, it'll be good.
Not to lose Megan, no.
No, no.
No, we can't even imagine that.
Although I do plan on taking over your room.
Oh, I mean.
Yeah.
It is now.
it's on the record.
It's on record.
Well, I was just wondering, because since it's coming on, in April, but we're not losing her till, we said July.
Maybe August.
Or
Like
August, that we
spring,
have
right?
that overlap of time there,
Yeah, right,
and that wouldn't have been,
right, but I don't think you're gonna have the same hours as Megan's working right now. Right, it's like almost 30 hours, and I don't think this person can work.
This person can work, Thursday 10 to 6 and Friday 10 to 7.
Oh, so that's only
Hmm.
15 hours.
okay, so.
Yeah, I'll do the calculation.
It's gotta be. I mean, we're
Yeah.
gonna have to
You have to do
figure it
something.
out because this is gonna have to be a priority.
Yeah, and I don't wanna, be too optimistic, but I am optimistic that we'll at least get one grant, which then
Mhm.
allows us to move some money around because it doesn't cover salaries.
Good.
Both of them cover salaries.
Well, I know one says it won't cover any new salaries, it'll cover existing salaries.
Which this essentially is.
Yeah.
Which if you
bring somebody on board now, would
be
an existing salary.
Correct.
Grant is.
Carrie, I know we mentioned this before, the new board came, or when Bob was still around, when it came to building into our budget for those times where Bridget's out of the office and we need, has that been built into this budget for that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we do have that for any kind of,
Vacation.
vacations or sick, that's built into the
Right.
budget, okay, so there is some padding there.
Nice.
Yeah, because we just don't wanna. Again, where we don't have, you know, a grant in concrete, we just, I think, have to be careful. That's
Yeah.
all.
So I'm grateful for Terry's management of the finances.
Mhm.
Oh,
So I
yes,
continue?
please, please.
All right, I am asking your permission. I would like to go to my daughter's graduation in Scotland. It will be on my birthday, June 30th. So my hope is to travel, from June 25th through July 9th.
Nice. That's a way to close out a fiscal year.
Yeah, I do have the time available, so I would like to use it then. And I have every intention of having staff in place and, able to cover all the things while I'm out.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Do we need, give permission to take vacation?
Well, that's just, yeah,
Yeah,
we're still at the
The town.
Yeah,
now.
as long as she's
Yeah.
got the time.
I think, yeah, they're tracking now all of the,
Yeah.
they're also gonna change
No.
they're changing all the structure of instead of, they're not gonna do paid time off, they're just gonna do a different vacation schedule, it's the new policy.
Oh, so it combines sick and,
Oh.
does it combine sick?
No, it
and
doesn't
vacation?
combine
Oh,
sick and
good.
vacation, because
Okay.
I think it's, even part-timers accrue sick time in
Yes.
state law. So they have to keep that separate, but there's new bereavement leave and there's new, vacation. And that they need to keep track of it differently.
Yeah,
So,
Too bad, because I remember when I worked for Howard, they went to a CPS system.
Yeah.
It was much better.
yeah.
But, you know, that's.
I think
personal.
from, yeah, business versus municipality, because so many things are dictated by state law.
Okay, well,
All right.
congratulations.
Thank you. Programming, I spent all day yesterday at a cataloging training for our consortium Catamount in Manchester, Vermont. It was excellent. It was so great being in person doing training. I highly recommend it. Like, it's just not like being online. I'm grateful for those opportunities. And there's nothing like being with your group of people. So, that was awesome. The Manchester Community Library, by the way, is, inspiring. It was just built 10 years ago. It's very Vermont-y. It's kind of a barn, like but cathedral ceilings, and it has, between the meeting room and the main library, there are these 20-foot maple doors, and you know how barns have the diamonds on it? So it's subtle, but like the maple makes this diamond, and I'm just like, oh, that's so nice. And you would think like it's a solid wall, right? But you just gently push it and it opens, and there's just like,
They have a lot of money in Manchester.
they do, but it was gorgeous. Like going in, the sidewalk is this gorgeous Connemara marble. It just like, it elevates, right? Like, it just like, you walk in and you feel like, I'm gonna do something good, you know? And you do, like, right? It's just, I think an architect can do that, right? Like, they can create
Yeah.
a feeling when you go in a building. So anyhow, that was wonderful. I'm really looking forward to going to the Vermont Library Association Conference on May 19th in Killington. Megan and, Leslie are going also. They got scholarships, which hooray, I think that's terrific.
I'm sorry, you said Leslie and Megan, or
Mhm.
anybody else, just you
Mhm.
three? Okay.
Yes. And Pete's Diorama are awesome. Please take a moment to look at those.
hilarious.
They're adorable.
What's his name from the garage, bring theirs?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
have
Very
a
fun.
talk.
So is that the, one that we approved that money for you to go to?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
The other one, is there training built into your time? Hopefully there is. I
Is
don't
there
know.
training built into my time? I'm
Well,
not
that's
sure
like
what
that.
you're asking.
Oh, in other words, do you have, is it part of the time?
Like the 40 hours, yeah.
Are you
Well,
asking if there's money in the budget to backfill me when I'm at training? Or are you asking if I'm required to do training?
No, it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like you're 40 hours a week.
I would,
Is it part of that?
I would assume.
I would
it
think
is.
Is your
Well,
training
really-
part of that?
So if you're asking how many hours I've been lately, I just wrote 2 grants, which total $72,000, and I have been working 56, 57 hours. This week I so far have put in 30 hours as of 6 o'clock. So I'm salaried, and I believe, my understanding is that I work 40 hours and I have some flex, if I work over 40 hours.
Because again, like I said, that wasn't in here, so I did not know. That's why I asked that question.
Okay.
Because you should have some paid training.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Um,
it's never been, like, I guess I
Because it's,
appreciate where you're coming from. And and training is really important. It really is, like, it keeps your mind fresh, like, and like up on all the latest things. It's so good to be with your colleagues. Yeah. And like historically, people have trusted me to just do the right thing. And I groove on that. Like that is my ideal work environment, and I do best in that. So, and I feel like I'm trustworthy, right? Like I'm really feeling good about bringing in $72,000 on $170,000 budget. And so like I hope that you will recognize, the value of my work. Yeah,
It is true.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a question of ignorance, but there is no certification or licensure that you need to maintain for your position, right?
So I do have the Vermont Certificate of Public Librarianship. And thank you.
And that's
Um,
valuable. Thank
It is valuable, thank you. And it was tied in, that was a requirement that I complete that within, I think it was 2 years of being hired. And I did, and it was right around that same time that my hours were raised to 40 hours a week. So, so there's that. There's also a
That's a
master's.
one-time, right? I'm sorry. That's a one-time thing, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to keep paying every year.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason I asked that is because I think when I had my job, I had to maintain
Oh, yeah.
licensure and.
Yeah,
you
you have to do
training
X
to
amount of
maintain.
hours a year,
Okay.
right? So I don't
if you're
have
a
that
true
requirement.
librarian, it's different. 'Cause you have to-
Yeah, I mean, like, as a professional, that's what I do. You know, I like learning and I see the value.
And we
Um,
want you to.
Yeah,
Please.
I would be extremely happy if the board found a way to support me getting an MLIS. So,
Masters of Life Science.
yeah, and information sciences. So,
Can
I,
you
in
say you
fact,
don't
I
have a
spoke with,
master's?
I have a master's degree in education. So I.
School nearby has a program for them all.
There is no school nearby, so people do remote courses. In fact, I was just sitting next to someone yesterday who works in Rutland, who Rutland is covering the cost of her MLIS, which is lovely. And I recognize that they're a larger library, and a
you
larger.
gonna say that one?
Sure, happy to, yeah, I think that'd be great. So that's that.
That's a conversation.
Yeah, I'd love that. Facilities, I have nothing to report on.
Okay.
No.
Well.
All right.
So that's part of an ongoing thing in the future about ADA compliance and all that, right?
Oh, yeah, so
Oh.
we had the
Oh,
meeting,
yeah.
which we'll talk
We'll-
about, right?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We'll leave that for now.
Yeah.
All right. Is there more in your report?
No, I'm done, thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. I guess we don't need a motion to accept the library director's report, do we? I don't think there's any contesting that. Okay, old business. Do we have any, well, we talked about. Well, wait, the policy committee, has there been a meeting and is there anything to update there?
I got a handout for everybody.
Oh, yay.
Oh, did I already give you one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then,
Just watch
are we
those.
looking at this way?
Oh, I have to echo,
Do you already have it?
Did you get one?
No.
Okay, all right.
I have to echo, thank you so much for documenting everything. You
Great.
really did.
So,
Good job.
oh, thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you. No, and honestly, if there's ever anything you want presented, and I know I've given this to the other trustees, if you want to send me anything, I can put it in the pocket, and that way anybody can print it off prior to, but I'll always bring handouts.
Thank you. You're great.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Really appreciate
It's
it.
thank you. Colleen, the reason I didn't send you the budget report is that I'd rather talk about it before we, I don't know that
Well, you
even,
had given it to
Yeah, but I
everybody,
don't know
so I
that it
didn't feel I
needs
needed
to
to
be-
post it.
I don't think it needs to be posted anyway, does
Well,
it?
it's public record though, of the community.
Yeah, but we don't ever get like a budget report from the town.
Oh, yeah, every warning is posted. So if you go to the packet, pretty much every purchase is a warning.
Right, sure,
Yeah, so
but we don't
everything
see the, it in the context of a
of the
budget,
budget.
right?
I guess if you put it all together at the end of the year.
Yes,
So essentially what I prepared is just a little, so policy committee's met a few times.
Yeah.
We've gone through and only a portion of section 1, so that's that big, and you have it, it's the very first one in your packet. So you'll see it's very pristine with, no red, and as you get through it, it's all red. So I did include any changes, so you'll see where it's been crossed out and the new, so everything new is in red, and I believe that there's some stuff in yellow, and I put it in yellow because those are like, all, the questions to when we decide to make these, changes. So we've done a little bit in section 1, and then all of 2, 3, and 4. Section 5, again, is those library, trustee bylaws, section 5 is the policies, and those were last approved on the 21st.
Okay,
So,
that's a lot of work, thank you.
yeah, sure is.
oh, with
Boy.
group effort, for sure.
Unacceptable behavior, my trust group will not be allowed to stay here.
You guys are known as the troublemakers and
Oh, well.
so essentially, oh, I'm sorry.
So, under library procedures, everything is crossed out?
So what we've decided is, yes, anything that's procedural is up to Bridget to
Oh,
decide.
oh,
how she
sorry,
wants
this
to
is part of
proceed.
policy.
Right,
Yep.
so that's why we took that out.
Got it.
So if nobody needs to know when the trash needs to be emptied.
Right.
But they do need to know the hours of the library being open and how to get a card and so forth. So, right,
So it just needs to be in her book and there.
Yeah.
And they know where to find it, and we know, hopefully where to find it. And
yep,
Now,
So we're
is
not-
your library alone in danger because of the cutbacks with the federal funding?
Yep, it's gonna be less.
That's like big.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Which is really, really probably could segue right into the, like, friends group that we just talked about. But, so we're not
Anyway.
approving anything,
no,
right?
no, no, right now
Okay.
we're just giving a report. So it
Okay.
was on, so this is kind of like a halfway point, so to speak. So we're just showing our work to you guys right now.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to go through and read through everything.
Comment.
Because everything
Let us
that,
know.
yeah,
Okay.
everything that's written now, we're not gonna go back and change again until we all meet together.
Okay.
So the next time, and I believe did we agree on something? And we might have agreed on something, and it's in my calendar, and I forget right now. But we'll meet again, and then hopefully I'll be able to give you a clean copy as well as the new portion of what this is. Right? So our time crunch again is July 1st, and I know that, once we approve it, once we approve of, these policies, it'll have to go to the town attorney for his check mark. Any other suggestions that will come back to us. If it's a check mark, we can pass it. It'll be introduced again, and then we'll pass it at the next meeting, or we'll make those changes and have to do a back and forth. It's my understanding that because we're just updating these policies, we're not rewriting things entirely.
Yeah.
That's not true. For the most part, we're updating everything and not rewriting, so it should have already been approved back in
Right.
2016, so it should be easy. Now,
I'm sure you could
So-
point out to him the things that are rewritten,
right,
so he doesn't have to like
and,
spend the time and all of it, right?
yeah, and it's my goal also to go through what model policies have been put, so the, Vermont Department of Libraries has also made these model policies from the
Oh.
F-150. And so, and I double checked on this, model policies have already been vetted by a state attorney. So hopefully I can identify, okay, this
Okay.
is already stated. So the only thing is gonna be whatever we
Rewritten.
decide to tweak and rewrite.
They won't have to worry.
Right. So once we kind of go back and forth on that, then we can get this approved. And I feel like this is almost kind of like a putting a Band-Aid on it, because we definitely need to update based on, that Act 150. And it's good just to go through anyways and, update this, get it on the website, so all of our current policies are in place there. So ripping that, or while that Band-Aid's in place and we still have some work to do, there's that long-term plan. So I know, we've discussed in these, policy committee meetings about getting community input, maybe changing our mission statement, getting, surveys and things like that, and then rolling through and, I don't want to say recreating the wheel, so to speak, but, putting some of these other, updating the policies, structured differently, all of that thing. So that's kind of long-range planning.
Mhm.
So I did reach out to the Vermont Department of Libraries, and they said, of course, all of the libraries do their own strategic planning, they, on certain bases, throughout the year, they go through everything. But I asked specifically if they have consultants. So I know we had a consultant at the town for the town plan and the development regulations. Do they do that for library policies too? And they said some do. Of course, most of them are bigger libraries with
Right,
bigger
right.
budgets. The department, the Vermont Department of Libraries does not have the capacity to do strategic planning with individual libraries. So they really can't recommend us, but they said that we can reach out to other libraries if we want that recommendation in the future.
Okay.
But I had said, this might be something that might be too big for us to bite off as
A
whole.
strategic plan?
Do we have that kind of partnership with other area libraries that we might be able to engage in?
So backing up a little bit, Pauline, we've discussed connecting with the Vermont Department of Libraries, and my understanding was that you were going to include me on those conversations.
Oh, yeah, this was something entirely different that I had, but I like queried on it, so I, will always share information with you whenever I do talk with them.
So it sounds like you're saying after the fact, you'll share information with me, but what I was asking for, and my understanding was that you would CC me on emails or include me in conversations when you speak with the Department of Libraries. Did I misunderstand that?
Right, and I know that I had also said that for the Department of Libraries, there's trustee help that I don't feel is necessary to CC you, because that makes me feel like I need to ask permission to ask my questions. And also, sometimes I go outside of what's in front of me to ask questions just for fact and information gathering that I do share with the group.
I feel like it's setting up this unnatural and unnecessary dichotomy, trustees and director, when you're keeping me from being part of the conversation.
And I think seeing somebody is just opening up there so that they can see what was asked and how it was answered. I don't see it as being
Right, and I know Bridget and I've had this conversation a few times before, and I've let her know that it's just in my fact gathering, like I don't CC Cheryl Letourneau, the town clerk, when I ask questions to the Secretary of State. I know that's her boss, but I have questions, so it's almost, I just go out of my way to find the information that's needed, pull it together and share what's needed. I don't feel it's necessary to have to keep everybody else in the loop on things that might not even have anything to do with their job. So that's my point of
I
view.
guess I'm not clear how anything that has to do with the library wouldn't have anything to do with my job.
Sometimes I ask questions about just trustees' roles and responsibilities or how to find information.
And, um, and I work with trustees on an ongoing basis, right? So if I knew that information, then it could be helpful to me in the future.
I understand, but essentially, I guess, why do you want to be CC'd on everything that could be distracting and burden your inbox when I'm going to share the information that I gather with the group on a whole?
Because I have long-standing relationships with the people at the Vermont Department of Libraries that I've grown over a number of years. And because I might have some input or be able to ask a question in another way that would get at the heart of the matter, because I've got 10 years of experience in this position, that might be helpful in furthering the conversation.
And I understand your position. And if it's something to do with something immediately that we're working on together, I will copy you on that. But I also want to maintain my autonomy as a trustee who is welcomed to, as the Department of Libraries has suggested, contact them whenever that we have any questions. So I understand your position and I hope you understand mine.
I really don't.
I think it's having some freedom.
Well, and but I also see that it kind of goes back to the minutes of that committee being a committee of 3 people and not trustees and director. That if you're asking questions about policy from the Vermont Department of Libraries, that you would CC everyone on the committee, the policy committee. That's how I'm seeing.
And I see what you're saying. However, again, what are we as library trustees? We're supposed to be for supervisor.
I don't know that well.
But that's what it says in here. Okay, we supervise.
It
takes over library director.
And I don't see that as being a supervisory role. I see that as being a umbrella of we're looking at the whole picture. And then there's
That wouldn't be evaluating, Bridget's, performance or her
Yeah,
position, it would be including her.
Question.
Yeah, be asking questions, so I don't see why that would be excluding her if it was a fact-finding or inquiring, position. It'd be nice if it's written communication, if it could be CC, but, that doesn't give up autonomy if you were making phone calls or something, but I guess.
Right, here's a sneak peek into my mind. I get the listserv and I get something from Joy Warland that says, oh, here's something, a training coming up or an opportunity or something really interesting going on at the library. And I have a question about it. I'm going to shoot her an email and ask a question about it. And I'm not thinking, who else do I need to include on those?
right.
Well, most of the time, it's just my own
Yeah.
questions and things like that. But then, we had the conversation about, doing a complete and total overhaul. And I'm like, we don't have the time for this. Let's get this done by July 1st, and then we'll think big. And then I was sitting in a meeting for the development regulation review, and I'm talking with Michael Allen from Regrowth, who does this for the big towns, and I'm saying, hey, is this something that you do for the libraries? And, oh, no, I don't know. But you know what? I bet you the Department of Libraries probably has people that they rep. So it's like, it's not that I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to
Not include.
right.
people.
It's just, oh, well, let me shoot this so I remember and do this later. And it's not, it's something that my information gathering that I bring to the table as a whole, because you guys don't need to see how the sausage is made. We really want to just get. to
But
the
I
bottom.
also understand.
Back just a little bit, and I guess invite is what I really meant to say. To invite, when you talk with Michael Allen about regrowth and you say, hey, do you do this? And he says, no, but I bet that there aren't no libraries. I would love it if you picked up the phone and said, hey, Bridget, I had this really good idea. I was at the planning meeting last night and I talked to Michael Allen from Regrowth about thinking about a consultant. Do you know, does the Department of Libraries do that? Or what do you think about that? I would love to have a relationship with you where you talk to me. And I feel like I have asked and asked and asked. you to come into the library and talk to me, you to pick up the phone and talk to me, and I'm not sure why that's not happening. And I'm feeling like not only is that not happening, but there are conversations that would benefit me and the library that are happening, which I'm not included in. So I don't know how to make that better, Colleen. Like, I keep inviting, and I'm hoping you'll see the light and want to do that. And I don't know why you don't.
It's nice to see a different, yes, different point of view sometimes.
Absolutely, and I appreciate your point of view. I suppose, yeah, as my attorney brain works differently than some others, I ask that you give me grace. And to quote you, as when you were doing your library director's report, you can trust me to do the right thing, and usually that's what I'm doing.
Well,
So when it comes to any other questions about that,
I do have one question.
Sure.
I see that you've, job description for the library director job.
Yep.
So it's the update, and then you've gotten rid of everything under library.
right, I got rid of everything because I knew we had a new one, but I think, did I put that in there with the, oh, no, I put it on the very back. Oh,
And-
okay.
And
For the question, do we want to keep this? And I think that goes for everything.
I also hope that we will have a chance to give our opinion about having the job description in.
Oh, no, absolutely. That's why, yeah.
So
you
even
take
if it's
those-
not there, you
Put all the notes.
No, no,
together.
oh,
I get it.
absolutely, that we can,
Yeah.
you know, reference. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. It does have to be signed.
Okay.
So as a member of the committee, I am noticing things in these drafts, revisions that are not operational for the library. And I feel like we talked about them in the meeting, and I'm not sure why they're not tracked. For instance, 3.2, library facilities are available free of charge to both residents and non-residents of Georgia.
Hold on, wait.
We two of the policy.
3.1, yeah, well, this is under 3.2.
You
The very
mean
bottom.
where I,
Yeah.
where I,
Oh, so,
here it is.
where I crossed it out?
So I'm on, there's no page number, but there's a lot of red up at the
Yeah, I
top, and
think
then it
that's
says 3.2, issuing library cards.
What should it say?
It should say library, what it said before, library facilities are free of charge to both residents and non-residents of Georgia. So as written, what you're saying is that if you don't live here, you can't use the library.
I believe that when we have a note in section 1.2, and in that note, but we haven't gotten there yet, it's in my not done notes yet, that says, at the discretion of the library director.
No, like this should remain as written. Like, the library is open to anyone. We have signs all over that says you are welcome here. Everyone is welcome in this library. That's essential.
I'm not gonna argue with you, however, I know I only put all of the changes that we together had approved. If you would like to change this again, we can go forward at our next meeting.
I mean, I assume we are all supposed to be making notes on this so that we can discuss it at the next meeting. Is that correct? Yeah.
So,
Right,
Okay.
because Bridget, I have it in my notes here that we remove those.
And
I
maybe
don't
that
know
should
what
not
you
say,
removed or
maybe it
didn't,
should
but
not
like,
say,
it shouldn't say that.
well, maybe it should not say facilities, maybe because it's under issuing library cards, it should say library cards are available free of charge to residents. Maybe that's what it.
Well, but I think there's another part that talks about the fee for library cards for non-residents, which we
Yep.
haven't reviewed yet.
1.2, if I just went back to.
Right.
Well,
that.
yeah,
It's not in the same
3.2.2 temporary.
So we haven't discussed that as a committee yet. However, I mean, maybe the heading needs to be changed, but, library facilities are available free of charge to everyone.
So maybe it's just, yeah. So, I mean, I think we need to read through and find, look
Absolutely,
for
and-
places where,
And
might
after
want-
every
yeah.
meeting, I have sent everything for
And we
review,
did put,
so.
we did cross
let's take
off
those
both and
opportunities.
non-residents. We did do that.
so maybe. it would be
Okay,
facilities
well, I,
to be
that's what
changed.
I
I know
mentioned.
that I believe it was this week or the end of last week, Colleen, you sent out some revisions that were made, and I wrote back and said, I don't see the track edits on this.
Right, and I think that we had a problem with that last time when I tried to send it to you. That's why I printed them all out today to give to you, because it wasn't showing up when I emailed them to you.
Okay,
So all of those text changes, even though I had sent and it didn't show up, they are here with the text changes for the sections
okay,
1.15 through 1.18 that we
okay,
had worked on at our last meeting.
okay, great. I wonder if in the future it might be possible to print that and scan it? Because I didn't see a reply from you at all about that.
yeah.
So, yeah, I know you're busy. We all are, right?
So we're gonna do this next time, we're gonna review.
Right, yeah, so
Hopefully,
I think we're gonna meet
Big
again
homework.
before our next meeting. So, yeah, so the
Okay.
committee will meet again and hopefully bust out the rest of it. And then have that for you at the next meeting so that we can move forward.
Would you like
with that.
comments before you meet again, or?
No, I
we
think
wait?
it's probably best that we do them all, because that way everybody can, and then it really does facilitate that discussion for change
Okay.
too.
Thank
Yes,
you all
but
for your work
here's-
on that.
here's my question about timing.
Yeah.
We have this now in April. We're gonna talk about it at the next meeting,
Mhm.
and then in June we approve.
Well, hopefully, but it might,
We have
we
to
might
let
need
the
to
way
call, special meetings.
Yeah. Right. But what you're gonna work on in the next meeting, we won't have until when?
I can email that to you guys, so you can have
Oh.
your stuff prepared for when you guys come in.
Okay. All right.
Right, so
Just wanna
hopefully
make sure I have
that'll,
enough time.
Great.
and I know that there's a procedure when it comes to passing policies. That doesn't need to be, that procedure doesn't need to be followed until it's passed, like it's voted upon. So when we introduce it and then send it to the lawyer, we don't have to like wait a month to send it to the lawyer for something. You know, we can essentially send it back and forth to the lawyer until we say, okay, this is the policy. Then we have to have another meeting before we vote.
Where are the lawyer fees coming from?
That is something that the select board is still discussing.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That'll be a good question.
It's, next, and that's something too that we're gonna have to talk about for the 2026 budget, as the select board has mentioned that every department now needs a legal fee line item.
Is there anything more on the policy committee report? No, that's a lot of work. Thank you. Thank all of you for that. Okay,
Appreciation,
Appreciation.
Barbara?
Oh, wait, what's the date of that again?
the 30th,
April 30th.
yeah, coming it up.
Yes, it is, 2 weeks. I need to learn how to share this with you,
Yeah.
the responses. So we have 13 responses.
Oh, nice.
And of those 13, so, sorry,
Was there a sign up, Gina?
there was an RSVP, I don't think, so I just
Google
shared it.
RSVP,
It
right?
was a Google RSVP. And I just shared the invite with Bridget because it was very basic. It was just the date and the time. I hope that's okay with you all. And then just had a Google RSVP for it. And which I'm happy to share with everybody. I'm just not sure how I can do that within Outlook. If I share, can I share?
You
a
can share
Google?
information. We can, when it comes to the, open meeting laws, yeah, you can share information. You can,
Okay.
this is what I want added to
Well,
packet.
yeah,
Yeah. we
okay,
just can't
so I
make
could
decisions.
print it out, but what I was thinking was I could share the spreadsheet of responses with you all, but I was gonna try and do that digitally. I'm not that savvy, I only do it. I don't have to, I don't have to do that, and I also am not a Microsoft person. Anyway, we have approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 10 No, yeah, you absolutely can. I came in yesterday, I was gonna share this with you yesterday, but, because there was one that I just need to email people back that said, can I bring my kid? I said, absolutely. So there's like 10 or 12 people right now.
Did you include, old trustees?
Yes.
Okay.
I had Bridget do that because I don't have all the information. I didn't want her to have to, I didn't want Bridget to have to share all the emails with me before
We can't do that.
yeah, exactly. So, so we basically just sent it out, and I know Megan was saying that they were gonna print out some for people who didn't have, email.
And what time is it?
No, it is at,
When we are, convenient and not discussing,
what do we say?
not making decisions. Could we, in a warned meeting? And we're
Um,
certainly allowed to, you know,
6 o'clock, April 30th, 6 o'clock.
People.
So, what kind of,
no, no.
cooking or
Did
whatever?
you have?
So
the
what I was
training?
thinking was that I would shut off the RSVP,
Okay,
like,
just because I know, yeah, they did talk about, you know, like,
how
it was
long,
small, I think it was like $15 or something. That's kind of-
how long do you think you all would need to come up with, or to do to make something? Because I was thinking I would turn off the RSVP at a certain point so that we knew a number before, like, the weekend before.
Yeah, I was gonna say the weekend.
So like the
Great.
Friday before?
Yeah.
Yeah, would that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I can, I'll email I don't think we need to talk about it in our meeting, but I can email everybody and see what they want to bring.
Sure.
I know that there was a couple of people who said that they were gluten-free or something, so I figured just make us see.
Yeah. On a salad or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Look forward to it.
Okay, should be fun. We definitely got some, I have to say, let's see, there was some very kind comments. Wonderful idea, so sorry I'm not available, what a nice gesture, thank you to the board, and Bridget. I love that you're all doing this, thanks for the invite, what a wonderful idea, so I thought that was very kind. No, but your wife did.
Oh, good.
For two. Did she say two? I'm not sure.
Well, I hope so.
Oh, I don't know.
Nancy's coming.
What are the names of people attending? And she just put her own name down.
Oh.
You have to be there.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that's what-
Anyway,
So
so
you're saying April 30th, 6 P.M.?
April 30th, 6 p.m., which is what we had decided over email. We just didn't decide the time.
Looking forward to it.
Okay. And hopefully it won't be a day like today.
Yeah.
One can only hope. So we're just setting stuff up over here and.
I think, I will make sure that I figure all that out. I'll get here as soon as I can after school, and
And how long is it gonna go till?
the library closes at 8.
Yeah, so.
Um,
Maybe 7:30.
You don't have to stay until 8.
Unless I bring a pot.
Or we can always make sure that it's
Yeah.
clean and we can pick it up another time if that works for you. Or I'll bring in extra serving things that we can. Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thanks
All
for
right.
doing that.
You're
Looking forward to
welcome.
it. Okay. Okay, new business. We have the overview of the March 24th meeting of the select board. Anybody,
Well, I mean, we did talk already about retro pay, but it was more about, setting up a revitalization committee, which they did do, and appointed Bridget, myself, and Deb to the committee. And I can segue into what happened at our committee. We had, what's her name? Bonnie, wanna go, I think, from BLCC come
oh,
to our meeting. and she can help with contacts and stuff like that, but I've contacted her, because she's supposed to send me a bunch of stuff, but I haven't seen it yet.
So when was the meeting?
When was that meeting?
March 20.
No,
no,
the other
different
meeting,
Last week,
yeah, it was, I can tell you, I think,
Monday.
This past Monday?
No.
Seventh. It was the 7th. Anyway, she gave me some ideas, about where to look, which would be like, for block grants, et cetera, so I've done a bit of, research on it. I sent the HUD people a message today, because there's a grant out there, but it doesn't say when it start, or when you have to apply, when you need to have it in. And Paul really wanted us to look for grants, which is fine, but getting something from the US government at this point could be very tricky. I do have, I have gotten into the SAM.gov where you do apply for these things. It is amazingly convoluted how to apply for these grants, so it's gonna take hours and hours to do this, so I wanna be sure. I don't know how I'm gonna be sure, but are we gonna be able to get a grant if we apply for one?
We won't know. For
We
the
can't
HUD
be
one?
sure.
Yeah, I can't know.
No, there's no way of knowing. So
The
it's gonna be a lot
Vermont
of
Department
hours.
of Libraries is gonna,
What?
the Vermont Department of Libraries is promoting that.
Right.
They will have trainings and
Oh,
all
yeah,
the
there's a
things.
bunch of
Yeah.
training things that you can do. What's the other thing? I think Paul has asked Jared Wade to come to the possibly the next meeting, to get some insight into this too.
Nice.
Is there anything else, do you remember? We should talk about, can't remember. That's about
The
it.
electrical is on hold.
Oh, yeah, the electrical's on hold so that, we don't make holes in the wall and then tear down the wall.
Oh, man.
I know.
So is it, the committee, you're looking to determine whether it's going to be financially feasible to fix this building? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, or to suggest a bond, I mean, for a whole new place.
I think just looking at what all needs to be done.
Right.
To get us up to
ADA.
ADA
Yeah.
and to make the library, what the community really wants and needs right now. We
We
talked
did talk about that, it's a
Yeah.
two-tiered sort of.
Yeah, we talked
project.
about what is necessary, what would be really nice, and what are the dreams that, would be nice to sprinkle a few of those in, but like, we really just need to do the needs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And, Paul really liked the idea of being able to find a grant that would pay for an engineer or an architect, not the whole project, but at least some of that, even though we have some money set aside for that in our capital budget. I personally don't think that will be enough, but, we'll see how that goes. It's only $50,000.
Yeah, that's done. So that's just for the study, or for the
Engineering and architect.
Did he say for the money that we have set aside for electrical work, can we carry that through? Can we repurpose it? Can we, we have
Did
to
they
hold
give
on
us
to it
money
until,
for the electrical work? I don't think they,
isn't that part of our capital fees?
I don't think there was a number, because they were getting they were supposed to get three,
quotes,
yeah, and I think they only got 2.
Is it ever a possibility that there's architect or engineer that lives in our community that would be willing to donate or their?
We can't get into that.
Oh, okay.
It'll negate, I guess, what grants or.
Yeah, for instance, Jared is an architect or engineer? Engineer, his wife is an architect. He's on the planning commission,
Yeah, okay.
so we can't really, I mean, he can come and give us some ideas and
Right,
maybe some
right,
people to
right.
contact, but he can't really be part of that.
Right.
Mm.
But given if grants don't come through, I mean, an ADA compliant public building is incredibly important.
Yeah.
And it's also good to note that it's in the top plan, And it's in the town plan for this to be,
26,
Yeah.
right,
would
for it
be
to be
compliant.
completed within 2 years too, so I think we can always kind of light the fire under them,
Right.
it's like, hey, this is in the town plan, and we're gonna do this
Right,
within 2
exactly.
to 5 maybe.
Well, they know that.
Yeah.
It has to be done.
Yeah.
They're just trying to look for
Right, but
the
any
least
kind of,
expensive way to do
Which
it.
I understand, which,
Yeah.
and I understand the whole grant thing,
Yeah.
which is, why I'm thinking, is there a possibility that somebody in the community has the credentials, whether it's Jared or somebody else, to at least to come in and say what needs to be done without us having to pay them exorbitant amounts of money.
I think the money that we would spend is not just for what needs to be done, but how we will get it done. So
Right.
Plans
Yeah.
and, probably blueprints, whatever.
Right.
We had architects submit some estimates for the old schoolhouse building from the historical society, but I don't know how reasonable they were. I
They
don't
could
know.
get their names for us.
Yeah, I could.
Okay.
Yeah, I can give you those.
Okay.
Yeah, because we just got a grant for the, doing some patchwork.
Right.
Yeah, $10,000, big deal.
This
Yeah.
is where the Friends of the Library would come in really handy.
Which was the other thing we were gonna.
Yeah.
They actually brought up, I think, at the select board meeting, didn't they? About friends.
Well, they
I
think
forget.
we should get some friends, and,
That's a good idea.
we
Wow.
all thought of that. So, yeah, as a result of one of 2 articles in the
Right.
St. Albans Messenger, which I thought were really well done.
I see that.
Yeah, it was good press for us. Aaron Scowcroft volunteered to spearhead the Friends group, and we've been collecting names of folks who are interested, and we have a pretty robust list going.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Is there a
yeah.
meeting or?
So I printed folders similar to your folders for the Friends, so those are ready to go. And I haven't had a chance to connect with Aaron. Things have been a little busy for the last little while. But I will. Tomorrow I will connect with Aaron and, we'll make a plan for moving forward. So, yeah, it's
Excellent.
exciting because it would give us 501c3 status, which means we can apply for some different grants.
Right.
And also I really believe that, there are a lot of people right now who want to do something good for their community, and they just need a place to plug in and feel like they're being effective. So,
So somebody on that
it's a
committee
good
will,
timing, actually.
yeah, so somebody on that committee will actually do the work to get you a 501c3.
Yes.
Um,
That is what a Friends group is.
okay,
And a Friends group can, do some fundraising on their own
right,
too, which is really
This
nice.
is a question of ignorance, but does, attaining the 501c3 put limitations on what you can and cannot do? Okay, so.
No, it's a nonprofit.
Right.
It's considered a nonprofit, yeah.
you see that the Milton Recreation Department now has their own Friends of Recreation.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so then it was in the, what was it, was it Milton?
Milton
Independent?
doesn't have it.
Yeah, I just did that the other day, and I'm like, well, that's great, because I guess they want those fundraising capacities for all of their sports and
Yeah,
their
yeah.
things like that, and I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I only ask that question because, I know in some circumstances, you're prohibited from doing certain things if you have certain designated,
Yeah.
so.
I think we also have to figure out like what are the implications for the town to report that money, or do we report the money that we?
I
Like,
think
you
that
know,
the
like-
select board still has to oversee the Friends
Okay.
and like approve of grants, especially if there's matching funds.
Not even that, but just like if they do fundraising.
I think that, my understanding is that, I'm not aware of Friends groups writing grants. What I'm aware of is the library writing grants and using the Friends 501c3 as a pass-through for the
Okay.
funding.
And then any fundraising they do would be donation.
Mhm. Mhm.
If I get those names of the architects, who should I pass that on to? Who would
You
want
can
it?
pass it on to me.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, there's two groups of architects that submitted, estimates before.
Are they local or?
Yes, they're all virtual.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I know an architect in Fairfax and one in St. Albans as well.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
Might as well, I mean,
I'll write
just
them
put
down
out
for you
the
right now.
mail out, the email about that, about our project. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else, about the meeting with the select board from March 24th, or should we?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we've already done executive session.
Yeah.
Now we're on to
We were gonna see,
Open planning, open meeting
the open
law.
meeting laws.
open
Yeah.
meeting.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
so today the VLCT, the Vermont League of Towns and Cities, I always invert it, I was a cities and towns.
Okay.
Hosted a, open meeting law training, and that's for all non-advisory boards, which the trustees are. So I don't think it's mandatory, but it's of course recommended that I think it's mandatory for chairs. But I'm gonna send you guys an email with the link to the training as well as the slides that they send afterwards. Really great training. It's funny, they say it was nothing much has changed since the last time I sat through it last year, but I feel like I learned so much more the second time around. Just in terms of, you know, reporting and procedures and, you know, even just the questions from the public that, you know, as you guys know, I do the minutes for Development Review Board, which has deliberative sessions, which is entirely different rules than executive sessions for select board and library. So it was great for me to learn all of these things. I'm kind of an expert at it now, but
When is this training again?
they hosted it this morning, but they have a video of it. So I mean,
But
you
it was
can
for
play
open
it.
meeting law. Is that the same one that they already have?
It was the sitting, but
Because I've already seen one.
yeah, it
I
might
played
be,
one.
yeah, they said they didn't update too much
So it
information.
might be the same.
Yeah, but, just, yeah, some of the questions were really great. I forget what I was gonna say about it. I'm sending the information, no, that's okay. I'm sending the information to you guys.
Because you may have to do it.
And, yeah, yeah, oh, and I guess, yeah, going forward, and this is something that we can address whenever we have, public. So I know it's not expressly or it hasn't been in our agendas if there's public comment. So we do have to always allow for public comment. I just hope we get the public in the comment. That would be nice. And then reporting, yeah, that's still the same, 48 hours. Usually it says, any additions, deletions, if it cannot wait until the next meeting, you know, throw it in there where you can. But otherwise, yeah, I'll do my very best to make sure that we're following it. And, once you guys sit through, if you so desire to, you're welcome to.
Yeah,
Bring that up.
all the times you sent things like trainings or
It's in
whatever,
the
I
work
saved those emails and at some point, like,
Your vacation.
yeah, I'm going to Seattle for my vacation.
Oh, yeah?
I get to visit my best friend every other year, so. So no,
On the
not
plane.
on my vacation.
On the plane.
On the plane, yeah, I'll download it. Yeah, anyway,
Right.
but yeah, I do appreciate it though, cause I will get to them, cause summertime, I have a lot of free time, so I get to go and do all those, like the trainings and
Mhm.
like look into the library things that you sent, the Vermont Department of Libraries and all of that, and the listserv and, but right now,
It's a lot of information for sure.
It
And I know, you know, Bridget and I are in a unique situation where we work for the town. So a lot of this is stuff that's coming at us in our inbox anyways. Like sometimes you don't have to go out and look for it. It comes to you. So part of the job. But no, that's what I was gonna say. I knew there was a second part of this. Okay. How do we want to go forward when it comes to providing that recorded copy? So right now, we're in compliance, not with the posting of the videos. We are not in compliance with that. But we are in compliance of having the videos available if anybody wants to see them. So when asked upon, we can provide it to them. However, it's not easily just done right now.
right.
So I know we had talked about before, it does have to come off of the Georgia Public Library webpage because we have a webpage. However, it's okay to send it to the town's webpage. So do we want to continue to have the town, or do we want to post it directly to our website?
I think if we use Google Meet, we can just,
So the
Right.
only thing with Google Meet, that I just found out this weekend is that, you have to, I don't know if you have to pay if it's over an hour. I don't have that problem because I have, all of my school stuff is through Google. So,
Why would we not do Microsoft Teams?
yeah, just,
oh, well, that's a different thing.
I'm
Does
just wondering.
Microsoft Teams provide a recording?
Mhm.
Well, then there you go. Then that's what we should do.
Because we all have Microsoft, those accounts. Outlook is Microsoft.
Yeah.
So, I talked to our IT person and he recommended Microsoft Teams.
Perfect.
Pardon me?
There's no time limitation on that.
No.
If I hear what you were saying.
Right, if you have a Microsoft
Right.
account, then
Right,
yes, you're all set.
So I have a list of things that I don't have time to get to, and nor do my staff. So adding another thing when I'm hearing that it's cumbersome for the town office to do, I asked our IT person, like, if we had you do this work of making sure it was uploaded and posted and all the things, like, what would you charge for that? And he said, oh, it's really easy. So,
Of course it is, because you know
Yeah.
how to do it.
So, I guess, I don't know, here's a thought, just, I mean, I could find out and then maybe upload them. So a thought is, what I'm hearing is the problem with the town uploading and posting is that it takes up bandwidth during the day, and so it slows everybody way down. Would it be possible to upload them like on your way out the door at night? I mean, is it
No,
really?
yeah, I've brought this, can we do it during lunch? Can we do it during lunch?
right.
So the problem then is the access, because, there's only one person in the office who has access to the Google, or not to the Google, the YouTube page that it goes to. So I know that the library has their own YouTube page. So would it be possible for us to do Microsoft Teams and put it on the Google YouTube page to be uploaded or to be advertised?
Oh, you mean the
Or
library?
the library.
Yeah.
YouTube. I keep saying Google, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's all right.
Microsoft Teams.
We all knew what
to
you meant.
YouTube library page.
I don't know. I mean, is that how it has to go, or can it just go from Teams to the website?
Well, it needs to have some place to store it, and right now that YouTube is storing the video.
Oh,
Right.
I follow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it goes from the server to the YouTube, and then the link that's provided goes to the YouTube.
So why can't we see our meetings on YouTube? Like, if they're currently being
Because they're
recorded
not-
on Zoom and uploaded to YouTube, why
They're
can't
not-
we
They're
see
not
on
being
YouTube?
uploaded to YouTube. They're all on
Because
the
the
server,
town,
because the server,
do it.
yeah.
So they can't do it at night,
oh,
This is a question that I've had during lunch hours.
right?
Is this something that we
Do
can
it
do?
overnight.
so, I mean,
Set it up.
not to be
I
cross,
feel
but
you
is
could
it,
just schedule it to happen overnight.
is it a logistical problem, or is it like not a priority problem?
I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, I'm not in charge of it, so it's
Yeah.
one of those, I request it and I sit back and wait.
Yeah.
And I know
So,
you requested
I'll
it.
do a little
Like,
research.
this-
I feel like
Yes,
to be
Can I maybe
scheduled.
just bring in my husband, who knows a whole lot more about this?
we want the public to come.
Well-
Public comment.
Well,
Well, and I just feel like you could schedule a download
Correct.
when you are not present.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You don't
at
have to
4
be
a.m.
present for it to happen.
No,
Your computer has to be open.
Yeah,
just like you schedule an upgrade of your, right?
like I schedule an email to
Uh-huh.
our parents.
He's an IT person.
You're on the line now.
Ray, good to see you, welcome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for
Um,
being our consultant.
I'm gonna put you in the minutes now, yeah.
Retain
Okay.
grade.
I'm
So-
sorry.
Hmm?
Retain grade.
Change
Ensure
it.
that, Deb told you about our problem, or maybe you haven't, have you? Oh, so our problem is that, like, right now, we're doing our meetings on Zoom. And it's an open meeting law that our meetings have to be up for 30 days and then kept for 2 years plus.
Okay.
Unfortunately, after Zoom is done, it goes to the cloud server at the town of Georgia. And what happens is it takes an extremely long bandwidth amount of data, whatever, it slows everybody's computers down. So when we're not able during the workday to take that and put it to the YouTube page to be able to put out into the universe. So Deb wanted us to pull you in as an IT person to
Okay.
say, what kind of solutions could we have to getting this data?
It doesn't have to be YouTube.
Right, it doesn't have to be YouTube and it doesn't have to be Zoom. We could use Microsoft Teams, but I don't know where that goes in the cloud.
As far as I know, Teams, which is what we use at work, you do a recording and it stays on your server and you can set it a length of time that you want it to, be viewable, in essence, after a certain length of time. Usually for us, it's about a year.
Is that a link though that can be shared with the public?
In our context, no. But in the context of Microsoft Teams in general, more than likely. That'll require a little bit of research to figure out if it is. The Zoom, recordings are a good option. The question is where, if they're being stored on
The town of Georgia
the
server.
town of Georgia server.
Mhm. We only have one Zoom account. And so the login is all the same for all the different departments and it just all goes to the town of Georgia server.
Okay, but you're kind of stuck with that
We're stuck with that.
then.
But unless we do a Teams, so if we do, let's say Bridget brings her laptop and opens up her Teams, would that be saved here in
On the library.
the library?
Also, how do you?
Well, we don't have a server, so it would be stored on my
on your
laptop,
computer.
and so very soon my laptop would be full.
Yeah.
Right, so that's
Go to
which is
another
why we would
location.
You
wanna
get a hard drive
Store it
or
on-
store it on YouTube.
Well,
store it on
you
YouTube.
could
Right.
do that, but you could also, do save to OneDrive.
We have, is that what it's called?
That's what it
Cloud?
is, that's our cloud, is
Yeah.
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 Okay, well, if you save it to, OneDrive directly from Teams, then, you wouldn't be necessarily encountering
taking
the
up
problem with the town server.
So I wonder,
Because your account should sync with OneDrive automatically.
can Zoom save to OneDrive?
Good question. I'm not sure. I've never tried it.
Microsoft is not very easy interface friendly, so I would.
So OneDrive is Microsoft, right?
Yeah, there are downsides with using Teams. Teams does tend to be a little bit less user-friendly than some of the other services.
Yeah.
Because we're a monopoly and if you don't like it, too bad.
Yeah.
You know? I hate to say that, but, another option would be, setting something up to save to, Google Drive. And then you could link from there. So that's another
Do we have to
possibility.
use Google Meet?
That might be the cleanest
There's a
solution.
limited 1 hour.
But then we have to pay.
Well,
for-
I'm gonna figure that out because I will do a little research on it.
You just close it out and open up another one.
Yeah.
Or do we just get our own Zoom account for whatever, $100, $200 a year?
Well, we have that $609 that we need to.
And, then would that solve anything if we had our own Zoom account rather than?
If we had our own Zoom account, we would still need a place to save that video and then convert it so that the public could see it.
Yeah. Most of these services, if you're saving it someplace, there's a link that you can use to access that. So that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
You're an IT person.
Yeah, Google Meet is 60 minutes.
Hmm.
For-
On the printout for a meeting.
That, I'm
That's-
thinking about the COVID classes and I'm like,
That's per meeting, is that right?
60 minutes.
Yeah,
for Google Meet.
there's another
There's a
option.
paid option, but
Yeah, well, it's kind of a dirty solution, but you could use, multiple meetings. Just, one right into the other, part one, part two. You could also potentially use something like Facebook Live. And as that automatically converts to video that is saved, and then you can share that. We've got a lot of people around who tend to use that. It's not an expensive solution, so.
And then that can be saved for 30 days up to 2 years.
I don't even know if there's a time limit on it.
Okay. And is it possible to like lump them all together? So if you're just looking for videos, or is it something that's in the feed? I don't know. I've never done one, so.
No, I think you could, like, for instance, on the town website, you might be able, or library website, just provide a page, link to, and then you give the link. And all you have to do is just update the links every time you have a recording that's
Just
going
put it
up.
in your about info on your Facebook.
Yeah, we've done,
that.
we've done a lot of stuff with
New
the church, doing, uploading to YouTube, and, we have a library of things up there. It does take a little while to convert, but it's also something that does it pretty automatically. You just set it and let it go.
Which is what we saw.
Yeah, and in that particular case, if you were to continue doing that kind of thing, what I'd recommend is just, set it to go towards the end of the day and then just let it run. That way you're not impacting the server feed as far as the rest of the town is concerned. Mostly you're not going to be using the town resources at night. I think it took typically less than 2 hours to upload a pretty good sized video.
So should we ask the town one more time to do that at night before we all try to get crazy on Microsoft Meet or whatever? I feel like they have the capability, they're just
And they have
Not
all of
doing
the videos.
right, they have it all.
They already have all of
Yeah,
What kind of a backlog do you have?
since October 19th, 2024.
1 month.
Okay. It'd take a little while to.
I know, but we could at least get going on current,
Right.
right?
So the other piece of this is that, if I'm not mistaken, the law says that it has to be an audio recording. We don't really have to have a video recording.
It can be, video or audio.
Yeah.
So does that open up any more simple options?
Oh, yeah. Audio takes a lot less bandwidth.
Yeah.
So you probably save it as an MP3 or something like that. If you're saving videos, the most common video format is an MP4, and those can get pretty bulky. Yeah. So the audio would give you the option of cutting down the size of that file considerably, and the amount of audio that you can get on, pretty quick, uploading it. And if you've got those backlog of files, you can convert the MP4s to an MP3. Basically, you're just stripping out the video.
Right, so maybe Colleen, could we ask Doug to do that for this meeting and see if it works? Just do the audio
Audio only.
and see if that's, that works
Because I was
better.
gonna say, otherwise, I know, Bridget, you had been recording on your phone. If
I
that's something,
did.
yeah,
And I tried
like I know.
really hard to upload it numerous
Sorry,
times,
Vanessa.
and I got a great transcript, but I could not get it uploaded.
Was that,
But I know-
was just using voice memos?
Yeah, just on my phone.
Because there are other
Other apps.
recording,
Yeah.
like there's Evernote and, which I've used when I had to teach remotely. We had to use a lot of recording of our voices and stuff.
Like I know we'll still want the Zoom or the Meet or the Teams, just to allow for the accommodations in case anybody wants to join us in case anybody's sick and,
Right.
yeah. So I mean, like, we'll still offer those services, but I think when it comes to uploading a recording, absolutely, if we can.
Yeah,
get
if
an
that
audio,
can follow the
anything to
law.
keep our compliance in
Right.
order. And trust me, no, there's nothing I'm not doing to try, because I'm, yeah, it bothers me a lot that we're not, it's frustrating thing.
Because, I think maybe ask Doug if he could just do this one, see if it works, how quickly it works. And then piecemeal do all the others, when he has time, and one whoever has time.
Just to give you an idea, typical MP, 3 would probably be under, 2 megabytes. Whereas typical, MP4, you're talking anywhere from 50 to 150 megabytes. So it takes
It's
a
just
lot.
vastly different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and their two servers probably overloaded with
Who knows?
video at
Yeah.
this point.
Mhm.
Okay, well,
And I really hesitate to say this, but maybe Facebook Live is the easiest fallback. I hate to do it too, but like, it would be easy, right?
Yeah.
I don't have Facebook.
But
But do you need it? I mean,
Well,
if
unless you
want
wanna
to
go look
remotely,
at it.
because then it would, well, unless we're doing 2 computers, one with the Zoom so other people can step in and participate, and one that's the Facebook
That's
Live
just
that's just
recording.
recording. So I can see how that would work.
hmm and it automatically, it's there, right? It's on Facebook. You don't have to do anything. There's no additional step. And it
Yeah.
saves it.
it's video, audio, and video.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
I wonder how big their servers are, right? You know, right?
Maybe I don't wanna know.
Found today,
Yeah.
take over for that.
Yeah.
So maybe if we could get Doug's answer to
Okay.
that, and then we can know how to
And then we'll put this in the
proceed.
next, so table this for next meeting.
Yes, of course.
Or we'll add to unfinished business.
Thank you for your help.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
hope-
Ray.
I hope it, gives you some more options.
Yeah.
Anything
Right.
else you want to talk about while you're here? Public comment.
Public comments?
Get that in.
It's time to post it in there, right?
No, already at that.
Oh.
Oh, good.
I haven't.
Neither have I. So,
Meeting till 11.
Time.
is
that it?
To plan the
Oh,
next meeting?
Oh, and this is something else that was discussed in the open meeting law video. Setting a certain day and time of the week so that it's kind of known, like the 3rd Wednesday of the month.
A regular
If
meeting?
a regular meeting date and time,
Mm.
because that's helpful to the public and maybe they'll come.
Be helpful to us too, probably.
We're at what, the 3rd Wednesday?
Right now, we're on the 3rd Wednesday, and I think last time, we were on the 3rd Wednesday.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, the 21st, actually, I've already got that in.
Oh my gosh, we do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, you got it
Yeah,
scheduled.
I think, yeah.
That's pretty easy, isn't it? So we're the 21st at 5 o'clock, is that right?
4:45.
4:45? Oh, yeah,
4:45,
4:45.
sorry.
So you want, and this is something, we can vote on next meeting, or if you wanted to do it now, do the rest of do we just want to say 3rd Wednesday? I mean, I don't know, almost Thanksgiving.
No,
Oh,
well,
That's November.
I think like we can, I mean, once we hit July, maybe not.
Oh, that's the last week.
July might be the only month that I can do a different time. Sorry,
no, I think if we just said July, I mean,
3rd Wednesday.
if something really important comes up that somebody can't make it.
Right, or a holiday like you
Or a
said.
holiday, we
Yeah.
can figure that out.
Okay.
So
When did we set up May's?
I think it was last time.
Last
we
time,
got-
Deb asked if we could set up
Beautiful.
the
the
next
next
couple.
one, yeah.
Thank you,
I think it
Deb.
does.
I'm good with that.
So do you want me just to put the May 21st, or do you want me to put meetings until not March, February, for the 3rd Wednesday of every month in the system? That way it gives notice to the
Do you
team,
want to just do it
or do you want to
to
do a
the-
month by
to
month?
December? Because
To
then
December?
we're gonna have a whole new board, right?
Not until
Not until March,
March.
so you can do it
Oh,
till
I
February.
see. Oh, right.
Are you leaving in?
Yeah, I don't mind. You want to put that?
So now.
And then we
till-
could always,
We
if
have time
something
later.
comes up.
Yeah, we can.
The
do
day
that.
before Thanksgiving, we're gonna have a meeting.
Well, we were just saying, as holidays come up, we will.
But it's that's the third, and it's the fourth, is the
Right.
day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Good.
so
I
I
don't, I
don't,
don't, you know.
Okay, good. I was just thinking of. Yeah,
I
okay.
have a doctor's appointment on the June one, so I can't be here for that.
yeah.
Okay.
I got it in here.
Okay.
So the third Wednesday of every month.
Right.
Oh, repeating.
Yep.
Love that repeating.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'll figure it out later. Okay, do we have any other business
I don't know.
tonight?
I have a question, but I don't know if I should ask it. That's all.
Why not?
It's easier than asking
Wrong.
silently if we didn't read minds.
I was just in the middle of another conversation, something clicked me, and I was going to, ask Nicole if you wanted me to go retroactively abstain you from the vote for the bonus.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, that was.
Oh,
That was.
I will do that.
yes, please, thank you for realizing
Nice
that.
catch.
No, well, somehow, in the moment, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it.
Okay, who
Yes,
would like,
please.
you seconded, so if you're abstaining, who would like to second that motion, okay?
Thank you for realizing that.
Sure.
I'm
That was a good
even
catch.
thinking.
All right, well, productive meeting. We're all set for next month.
I think
Uh,
so.
Is there anything else on the table that we need to address?
I have one thing. The town, Memorial Day Parade.
Yeah.
I'd asked Bridget, if the library might be interested in having a float again.
Okay.
She said possibly.
Well,
I don't know if anybody else has any ideas about that.
who's gonna put the float together?
Hmm.
That's my question.
I know, I'm out of town.
Friends of the library.
Oh, the Friends of the Library, get that meeting.
It's their first
Run.
act. Get the 501c3, we need a float. Right?
Absolutely. Oh, that's funny.
Hmm.
Okay.
So when is the
7th?
31st. Remember they moved it to the 31st,
May 31st?
May 31st, yeah.
On the
They
Saturday.
moved it again.
It's on a
When-
Saturday and it's after.
Well, then, all right.
Okay.
Carl Rosenquist is.
I won't be here. I won't be here, but,
I know, we're gonna be out of town, so.
well,
We might approach.
And I'm gonna have to
the
help them.
Friends,
Being part of the committee.
the Friends.
Well, we can ask
Yeah,
them,
so-
certainly.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's coming right up, though.
yeah, that's why I figured I gotta say something quick. Well, didn't you work with Margot Vansley on it last year? Yes. Want to reach out to Margot? I'm not gonna be able to do it because I'm on the committee and they
Right.
related to something else. I don't know if I still have her
I'm not even here,
email, but
personal phone number, so I'll ask them before.
need them.
Thanks for sharing your.
Do you have her email?
Not that was the very version more.
Megan likes that.
I think that's a co-link too.
Yeah.
So if
I,
catch it
I'm not gonna
earlier,
give you
I'll
phone numbers
shoot it out.
yet, but,
Yep.
Oh, this is for me, eh?
I'm gonna ask them if they would be okay with somebody reaching.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So are we doing?
Oh, my note.
I think so.
Is it a motion?
No, we didn't.
We didn't,
We do not have a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Can we go?
Motion to adjourn.
I second that.
There we go.
All those in favor?
On that.
Bye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
We'll remember to bring.
We're all a little bit punchy.